afternoon, morning, night, whatever this is. So this is the lesson on part writing with secondary chords. And the three lessons that we're going to have are part writing with secondary chords, figured bass with secondary chords. Those are the two biggies that you want to make sure you're good on for the exam. And then the other one will be going through the practice exam. So here, this is the first one, distance 4A, part writing with secondary chords. We're going to start with page 82. We're not going to do all of these, but I am going to pick a few on here that I think would be good for us to go over. They might be more likely to show up on the exam, that kind of thing. Now, again, anytime we're working these out, feel free to pause and work it out before I reveal the answer, because I always think it's good for you to have a chance to try it, and then we'll do it together. So anytime I say pause, or anytime you just want to pause, go ahead and do that. Okay, why don't we do this first one? So go ahead and pause and see if you can figure out what the harmonies are and where you might put the voices. Okay, so we know that we're going to 6, so I think probably I'm going to figure out what 6 is. In F minor, 6 is going to be built on D flat. Now, I'm going to tell you that this chord is actually really tricky to spell because it's a C fully diminished. So I promise that I won't put when this mean on the test. But first of all, we got to figure out the leading tone to D flat. Leading tone to D flat is C. And we have C, E flat, G flat, B double flat. Very mean, very mean. All right, well, we got to go ahead and put this in first inversion. So we'll put E flat in the bass. And it looks like we could probably keep the C in the tenor. And maybe A flat can go to, well, if both of these voices go up, then we can go to B flat, B double flat here, and G flat here. That's probably the best way to do it, is have our G flat and B double flat there. Let me see if I can make this look better. And next, we want to resolve it to our 6th chord, D flat major. There's our 7th. 7th needs to go down by step. So B double flat, we'll go to A flat. And, well, here's our leading tone, T, do, right? C to D flat. And it's also in root position. So maybe D flat in the bass for root position, D flat in the tenor. And then that leaves us an F to put in the top voice. Yeah, that 7 of 6 really gives it a sense of crisis, but then when we go to the major 6, it feels resolved. Let's do another one. Let's do number 2. Although I don't know where I put my pencil. This is just like when I'm teaching in front of all of you. Oh, here it is. Okay. So again, yeah, go ahead and pause. You want to figure out what 4 is. Then you want to figure out how to spell that chord. Then start getting some ideas for part writing. Go ahead and try working this one out on your own first, and then we'll do it together. Okay, so the 4 chord in A major, that's going to be D. And the leading tone to D is C sharp. And this is going to be spelled C sharp, E, G, B flat. Now, I'm already starting to think which of these are not going to appear in the key signature. So we got C sharp, that's good. E is fine. G, notice that we have G sharp. So since this is not a G sharp, we're going to need a G natural on it. And then, of course, we'll need B flat. All right, it's in 4/3, so we'll put G natural in the bass. And we could leave the C sharp. And we can leave the E. And B flat of the soprano. That looks like it will work out nicely. And then we'll go to D major in first inversion. If you want to pause that and before we do it together, please do. First inversion, so F sharp's in the bass. Here's my 7th. 7th needs to fall, so A flat will fall back down to A. And here's T, C sharp, T going to Do, right? Because it's the leading tone to D. And then we get options. E can either go up to F sharp, that's fine. E can go down to D, that's fine. I like F sharp better, but either way, and you'll be in good shape. So let's hear this one in A major. All right, let's do the next one in B flat. So again, why don't you go ahead and try doing number 3 in B flat, try it on your own, go ahead and pause, work out some things, and then we'll do it together. All right, so this is FAC. Leading tone to F is E. However, I am already thinking that since we have E flat in the key signature, and this needs to be an E, not an E flat, we will need E natural. This is the kind of thing that folks miss on the exam, right? You always have to be thinking in this key, right? Leading tone to that key, not thinking about, and then you have to need an accidental for that. Fully diminished 7, minor thirds all the way up. E, G, E flat, D flat. And we will put E natural in the bass. Maybe leave the, oh, here, do you see how we have D there in this voice, but then the next chord has D flat? We want to make sure that the D goes to the D flat. That is how we do smooth part writing with chromaticism. If you have an altered tone, you want to make sure it stays in the same voice. So we have our E, we have our D flat, we need B flat, and G. And why don't you go ahead and resolve it to the 5 chord, and you can pause, and then I'll work it out with you. in root position. Here's the 7th. D flat will go down by step. And we need another F and an A, because we'll double the roots, an F and an A. Why don't we have A here, and F there, and let's hear how it sounds. Let's try a couple more, and let's see, what would be a good one to do? Let's jump down to the 3rd line, where we have F major. So here we have a 7 of 6 resolving to 5 of 2. Now that's a totally legit thing, and here's why. The reason is 5 of 2, remember, is like a substitute for 6. And I'll show you what I mean. In F minor, in F major, 6 is D. And so hold on with me. F major 6 is D. And then in F major 2 is G. And what's the dominant of G? 5 of G is D. So going to when it's a 7 of 6, we would expect it to resolve to a D, right? Because we would expect it to go to 6. It still is going to go to D because D is the dominant of G. Anyway, it will make sense when we work it out. All right, so this is going to 7 of 6. Leading tone to D. Leading tone to D is C sharp. And we'll spell C sharp fully diminished 7. My hope is that you're going to continue to improve at spelling your fully diminished 7th chords in any key, because that's how you will do well on the exam. And it looks like it's in 1st inversion, so we'll put E in bass. Ooh, here we have C natural. This chord has C sharp. Let's make sure C goes to C sharp in the same voice. And then we have G and B flat. It looks like we can just move this one up and this one up. And E flat is in the key signature. Okay, now we need to spell 5, 7 of 2. So like I said before, 2 is G, the dominant of G is D. So since we're spelling D as a 5, 7, it will be a D major minor 7. So this will be D, F sharp, A, C. Okay, root position, so we'll put D in the bass. And 7th goes down by step, so we'll put A in the tenor. And then we have F sharp, which we will need because that's not in the key signature. And then C sharp is going to go back down to C natural. Let's hear how this sounds. Should have kind of a barbershop sound. And let's do another one. Let's do Let's go down to the bottom and do these backwards ones. Let's start with this one that's in G minor. So we have 4, 7 to 5, 5. Well, we've already got 5 there. So that's D. And leading tone to D. Oh, everything starts on C sharp today. All right. How about C sharp, E, G, B flat. Now, again, take a quick look. Do these fit the key signature? C sharp, we'll need a sharp. E, this is E flat, so we will need E natural. And G and B flat are good. All right, root positions, so C sharp will go on the bass. Next, the 7th needs to fall down by step, and B flat will fall down by step in which voice? The soprano. And then we need an E and a G. Maybe we can put G here. And E there. And I messed something up. What did I forget? What did I screw up? E natural. Okay, here we have Roman numeral 4, C minor, so C, E flat, G. And root position, so C goes in the bass. Now, there's one place where the E flat really needs to go. The E flat should really go in the tenor, so it goes E flat to E natural in the same voice. Remember, whenever it goes like chromatic from a natural to a flat or something like that, you want to keep those in the same spot. And then we have C, E flat, then we have a G, and then we can put in another C. And we're in a key of G minor. Why don't we do one more of these? Then we'll look at one or two on page 72. Let's try this next one in G major. And again, why don't you try working out this one first before on your own, and then we'll do it together. Okay. The leading tone to A is G sharp. So this will be G sharp, B, D, F. Now, check your key signature. Do we need any accidentals? G sharp, B, D. We'll need F natural. Without the F natural, it's the wrong chord. All right, it's in first inversion, so we'll put B in the bass. Then we'll need F to go down by step. So let's figure that out. B in the bass, F in the alto. And we will need the natural or it is wrong. And then we need G sharp and D. Looks like G sharp can go in the soprano. I didn't leave very much room. So there's G sharp going to A, F natural going down to E. And then we'll put D here. Okay. Now we need a sixth chord. So this will be E. And again, go ahead and pause if you want to work this one out for yourself, and then I will do it. It's in root position, so E in the bass. Now check this out. Here we have G natural. This next chord has G sharp, so let's make sure that the G natural goes in a soprano. So we go G, G sharp, A in the same voice, making it sound smooth. And we need another E and another E. Let's just do one or two on page 72 as kind of a refresher. And so go ahead and turn to page 72. And let's try this one in F major. So we're on page 72, secondary 5/7 part writing. And let's do this one in F major where we go 5 of 6 and then the 5 of 2. I'll put something like this on the test. Why don't you go ahead and pause and take a moment to figure out what these harmonies are going to be. And then when you unpause, I'll work it through with you. Okay, so first of all, we got to figure out what 6 is. It's D. Now we're doing dominants. We're not doing 7 chords, so we need the dominant of D, which is A. And then we will spell major minor 7, A, C sharp, E, G. Let's take a look at this one. So 2 in F is G, and we need the dominant of G. The dominant of G is D, so we will spell this as D major minor 7, D, F sharp, A, C. So it looks like we'll need C sharp, and it looks like we'll need F sharp. Oh, check this out. This is C sharp, but this is C. We might even need C natural, otherwise it won't be spelled right if it comes from C sharp to C natural. All right, so now we're doing this. This one's in second inversion, so we'll put E in the bass. And this C sharp should probably be coming from the C. And so we have E, we have C sharp, we need A and G. Or we can leave the A and put G in the alto. And then next, we're going to go to root position, 5/7 of 2. So this is D, F sharp, A, C. Root position, we'll put D in the bass. Now we need to make sure that this goes down by step because that's our 7th. So G will come down to F sharp. And C sharp should go to C natural. It goes from C sharp, and then this part is C natural. And then we can leave the A again. Let's hear how it sounds. Just one more of these. Let's do one from the bottom where we go backwards. Let's try this one on the very bottom. That's an E minor. So we're going to go from a... Oh, actually, I don't want to do that one. I changed my mind. I want to show you all something on this B flat major one. So if you recall, whenever we have a root position 5-7 or a root position 7 chord going to another root position 7 chord, we would switch between incomplete and complete. And we're going to do the same thing on this. Since we have a series of root position 7s, we're going to make this one complete, but we're going to make this 5-7 of 5 incomplete, and then we'll go to this one and make that complete. So let's do an incomplete 5-7 of 5. So 5 is F, so the dominant of F would be C. And let's spell it complete first. So it'll be C, E, G, B flat. Now, does this fit the key signature? It does not, because we have E and this is E flat, so we will need E natural. And now to make it incomplete, we will not use the G, no fifth, but we will use another C. You will find that when we go from a root position 7 to a root position 7 like this, incomplete to complete makes it a lot easier, and you can still do it with secondary chords. So it's in root position. Why don't we put C in the bass? And here's the 7th. That needs to go down by step. Let's put that in soprano. And then we need another C and an E natural and no G. Let's put E natural here. Of course, now that we have E natural, this is going back to flat. And then a C here. Looks good. Everybody's got independent motion going on. All right, let's do the same thing here, but this time it will be a complete chord. So first of all, we got to figure out what is 2. 2 is C minor, and the dominant of C is G. So we'll spell G major minor 7. G major minor 7. Do we need any accidentals? We do. B natural. Okay, it's in root position, so G in the bass. I'm going to put it here so it jumps down, then jumps back up. Typically, you don't see basses jump twice like that in a row, going up or going down. They usually jump up and down. It's a little bit easier. Then we need the 7th to go down by step, so let's put that here. Ooh, here we have B natural, and then this one has B flat. So we should keep that in the same place. And then we'll need one of these. Don't worry, I won't put anything this mean on the test. And then we need a D. So we're in B flat. We're going to go to 5 of 2, to 5 of 5, to 5, and then of course it's probably going to go lastly to 1. Here's our key. And we're starting with 5-7 of 2. There's our 5-7 of 2. It'll sound better if I play it jazzy. My hope is that after doing these with me, you're feeling better about your part writing. Next video will be figured bass.